Good afternoon. This is Global Updates on Fresh 107.9 FM at Abeokuta. I'm Wale Bakare. First, the headlines. President Buhari signs 2021 appropriation bill into law. Nigeria records 1,016 new COVID-19 infections. On foreign scene, Ghana opposition leader John Mahama rejects poll results. In sports, Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp praises players despite Newcastle draw. Stay tuned for details of this and more. And now the news in detail. President Muhammadu Buhari has signed the 2021 budget and the finance bill into law at the council chambers of the State House in Abuja. The signing, which happened in a short ceremony earlier today, comes 10 days after both chambers of the National Assembly passed the 13.5 trillion naira budget and 3 days after it was transmitted to the President for assent. President Buhari presented the proposed 2021 budget to the National Assembly on October the 8th. The National Assembly, while approving the proposal on December 21st, raised the estimate of 13.082 trillion naira to 13.588 trillion naira. This was an increase of 505 billion naira from the proposed figures presented by the Buhari administration. Similarly, Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun has signed the 2021 appropriation bill of 338.6 billion naira into law. Tagged Budget of Recovery and Sustainability, the documents comprise recurrent expenditure of 162 billion naira, which represents 48% of the total budget, and a capital expenditure of 177 billion naira, representing 52%. Signing the budget into law in Abeokuta, the governor assured the people that the state will strive to recover from the challenges engendered by the COVID-19 pandemic and forge ahead in the critical sectors of the economy as enunciated in the act. Highlights of the budget as presented to the Legislative Chamber are infrastructure, 61 billion naira, social welfare and well-being, 93 billion naira, education, 58 billion naira, youth empowerment, 6 billion naira, agric, 15 billion naira, and enablers, 106 billion naira, among others.
We pay a lot of attention to the completion of all ongoing projects across the state. We will continue to implement along the verticals that we call our developmental pillars, the share pillars. I for infrastructure, S for social well-being and welfare, E for education, Y for youth empowerment and job creation, and A for agriculture. This, we believe, will enable us to deliver on our vision and our mantra of building our future together in the states.
Still in Ogun State, the Christian Association of Nigeria in the state has advised members to close all church activities by 11 p.m. today, December 31st. The CAN, in a statement signed by its state chairman, Bishop Tunde Akinsoya, said the directive followed a similar directive by the national body of the association. CAN had appealed to the state government to allow it hold crossover services until after 12 midnight and allow attenders to get back to their homes by 1 a.m. CAN in the statement said the second wave of the COVID-19 is not something to be treated lightly, hence the need for all to obey all instructions by state authorities. The statement, while wishing everyone a prosperous and less stressful new year, called for strict observance to all COVID-19 protocols. The National Identity Management Commission, NIMC, is adopting what it calls the booking system to control the crowd at its centers nationwide. The Commission says the step is part of measures to contain the spread of coronavirus and also ensure that its services are not interrupted. With the new guidelines, applicants are expected to visit any of the NIMC offices closest to them during stipulated business hours of 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., after which they will be scheduled for an enrollment appointment. The Commission explains that the new process will reduce the crowd at the centers and also ensure orderliness as well as strict compliance to COVID protocols.
What we are trying to do is to adopt the booking system that has been given to us from our headquarters. So what we'll do is we'll allow them to write down their names and give them the days that they are expected to come back for their registration, because there's no way that we can attend to everybody on the same day. So by the time we are through with the booking system, we will give them the dates, and we will expect that they will come on the day that we have assigned to each of them. The turnout has been very, very huge, very, very huge. And we are trying our best to ensure that we register as many as possible on a daily basis. Many people are not ready to listen to our instructions. We find out that if we ask them to abide with this rule, with this regulation, we just find out that most people are very impatient. That's the problem that we have. They are very, very impatient, and they are not ready to listen to us. But we are trying our best to appeal to them that the deadline has been pushed to February. So they still have ample time to register, and there's no way we can register everybody on the same day.
Now, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has confirmed 116 new COVID-19 infections in the country, bringing the total number of infections to 86,576. According to the NCDC, of these total infections, 73,322 have recovered and have been discharged, while the country has recorded 1,278 deaths related to the virus. According to a post by the NCDC on its Twitter handle, Lagos reported the highest cases for the day with 434, followed by the FCT with 155, Plateau with 94, and then Kaduna, as well as Rivers with 56 new cases each. Oyo State reported 30 new cases, followed by Nasarawa with 27, Zamfara 25, Abia 22, Enugu and Kano 18 new cases each, Bayelsa 15, Edo 14, Ogun 11, Borno and Ebonyi 10 new cases each, Jigawa 7 new cases, Anambra 4 new cases, while Delta, Niger and Osun reported 3 new cases each. To security now, President Muhammadu Buhari has met with the Governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Zulum, at the State House over the security challenges facing the state. Governor Zulum is seeking the help of the federal government in repatriating Nigerians who fled to neighboring countries following attacks by Boko Haram insurgents. The governor told the president that the refugees who fled in fear of the insurgents have been clamoring to return home.
I'm here to brief Mr. President on some very important issues in our state, most especially on the issue of repatriation of Nigerians that are living in the Republic of Chad, in the Republic of Niger, and in the Republic of Cameroon. Borno State government will collaborate with the federal government in ensuring their repatriation within the shortest possible time. Because they have stayed for a long time, they want to come back home. There is an ongoing agitation by them, and I think government has to listen to them. And President has given me the assurances that he will support this very important initiative in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. We need to holistically look into the issue of security. Inshallah, the government of Borno State will collaborate with the federal government with a view to bringing stability in the Northeast, in the entire Northeast in the year 2021. The President has assured Nigerians, has assured people of Borno State that we shall see improvement in the year 2021, and I'm optimistic that we shall see it.
Still talking security, the Nigerian military says troops have killed over 2,000 criminals terrorizing innocent citizens in the country between March and December this year. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General John Enneche, says the military will continue to sustain the offensive against all terrorists, bandits and other criminals. He added that they will not relent until peace is guaranteed in every zone of the country.
Although some of our troops paid the supreme price in the course of the operations, our dogged troops have consistently exhibited gallantry and resilience in the various operations. Within the time frame in focus, troops neutralized scores of terrorists and bandits, while many others were incapacitated and their camps destroyed. In summary, the armed forces of Nigeria from 18th of March to 30th of December of this year neutralized 2,403 criminal elements across the country. Now we look at the total of kidnapped victims, 864 for the period, and we look at for the economic recoveries, 9,684,797 liters of AGO, 33,516,000 of DPK, among others. And then, yes, it is good to point out here that 1,910 criminals were arrested, majority of them under investigation, and at the end of the investigations, some appropriate judicial processes have commenced, and others will commence on completion of investigation, of which we're always fully informed.
You've been listening to Global Updates on Fresh 107.9 FM at Abeokuta. Still to come on the foreign scene, Ghana's opposition leader John Mahama rejects poor results. In sports, Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp praises players despite Newcastle draw. Stay with Fresh 107.9 FM. Many thanks for staying with us on the foreign scene now. Ghana's opposition leader John Mahama, the runner-up in this month's disputed presidential election, has rejected the results of the election, calling it fraudulent. Mr. Mahama has now filed a case before the Supreme Court seeking a rerun of the vote. He asked the court for an order of mandatory injunction directing the Electoral Commission to proceed to conduct a second election. The petition charges that the announcement on December 9th, 2 days after the vote of victory of Mahama's arch-rival Nana Akufo-Addo, was unconstitutional, null and void, and of no effect whatsoever. The 62-year-old also wants the court to restrain President Akufo-Addo from holding himself out as president-elect. Now, the U.S. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell has rejected calls for an unlikely alliance of President Donald Trump, congressional Democrats, and some Republicans to boost coronavirus aid. The House of Representatives, held by the Democrats, had voted to increase aid checks to Americans to $2,000. Dozens of House Republicans, reluctant to defy President Trump, backed the increase, but Mr. McConnell's objections mean there will not be a direct vote on a revised COVID aid bill in the Senate. Mitch McConnell said raising aid checks would be another fire hose of borrowed money.
Look, it's no secret that Republicans have a diversity of views about the wisdom of borrowing hundreds of billions more to send out more non-targeted money, including to many households that have suffered no loss of income during the crisis. COVID-19 has not affected all households equally, not even close. But more broadly, here's the deal. The Senate is not going to split apart the three issues that President Trump linked together just because Democrats are afraid to address two of them. The Senate's not going to be bullied into rushing out more borrowed money into the hands of Democrat rich friends who don't need the help.
Hong Kong pro-democracy mogul Jimmy Lai has been ordered back to prison after the city's highest court ruled a judge may have erred in granting him bail. The Apple Daily founder is accused of conspiring with foreign forces to endanger national security. The 73-year-old had spent the last week under house arrest after securing bail, but prosecutors appealed. He is a fierce critic of China and the highest-profile person charged under Hong Kong's controversial security law. Mr. Lai has been in and out of detention over recent months, and the Court of Final Appeal set his next bail hearing for February 1st after the prosecution argued a judge should not have released him on bail. In business, the post-Brexit trade deal between the UK and the European Union takes effect at 2300 GMT today after it was signed into law. Parliament overwhelmingly backed the agreement in a high-speed process on Wednesday following the two sides reaching agreement on Christmas Eve. The UK leaves the EU's single market and customs union, but the deal ends the possibility of tariffs on goods. Prime Minister Boris Johnson thanked members of Parliament, saying the destiny of the country now resides firmly in their hands. The deal, reached just before the deadline to do so, sets out a new business and security relationship following the severing of ties between the EU and the UK. In sports, Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp has praised his team despite a frustrating goalless draw at Newcastle. Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mane and Roberto Firmino were all guilty of wasteful finishing in the game, while the Magpies goalkeeper Karl Darlow made some fantastic saves. Klopp, speaking after the game, said the year was a new experience for his team, who were crowned Premier League champions in June following a 30-year wait.
You can have a draw with a bad performance, or you can have a draw with a good performance. And tonight we had a draw with a good performance. We just didn't use the chances, and that's why I'm okay. And so 2020 had one highlight and a lot of challenges. The highlight was becoming champion. All the rest were big challenges. And we will face a few more challenges in life. So, but I'm quite happy that 2020 is nearly over now, to be honest. It's, how I said, apart from becoming champion, there is not a year I will think a lot about in the future.
Just before we end the global updates on Fresh 107.9 FM at Abeokuta, here's a recap of the main stories. We told you that President Muhammadu Buhari has signed the 2021 budget and the finance bill into law. We also told you on the foreign saying that Ghana's opposition leader John Mahama has rejected the results of the election, calling it fraudulent. In sports, Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp has praised his players despite a frustrating goalless draw at Newcastle. That's global updates on Fresh 107.9 FM at Abeokuta. The news was edited by Omoyemi Adesoye. I'm Wale Bakare. Thank you for listening. Good afternoon.
It's your number one party station. Fresh. Let's go. Fresh 107.9 FM. Niger hit music station. Listen via freshfmnigeria.com or download Fresh 107.9.